So it's been a weird couple of days. Not not anything during the day weird, just nighttime negative energy kind of weird. Um, I wasn't really going to make a video about it because I don't want to keep making videos every time an episode of negative energy tries to affect our home. But having two in kind of quick succession, I feel deserves some comment. And the first one was Friday night. I mean, it's Monday now. So Friday night, it was what would normally lead to the oppressiveness forcing me into a locked-in situation, screaming internally, not being able to move, and I don't know, generally being terrified. From the same position on a bedroom wall where the video I made a few weeks ago, there was the episode, shall we call it. Something else tried to, we'll call it just start something. But this time, I don't know if I was, ready for it or what to really make of it. But I was able to sort of stop it, wake up, stare at the intruder, and sort of, you ain't coming in. You are unwelcome. And unlike the other week, I was calm, processed it, went back to sleep. And that's that episode. So this morning, it turns out both myself and my wife had a restless night. Now for me, and I wasn't going to say anything, because again, as I don't know, almost like a step up. There was some negative energy trying to get into the protective barriers around the home. From the same space in the wall, so I really need to do something about that, perhaps more, because, I say, close succession. But what I saw, because I was awake, it's nothing came at me. It was more a case of I woke up, I sensed it, I could see it. And it was very spider-like. But because I had sort of woke up and dealt with it, sort of going through the processes, and then rolled over, went back to sleep, I probably wasn't going to say anything until, our alarms went off this morning, and my wife was sort of saying how she'd had some restless dreams, and one of those dreams involved a giant spider. So in some ways I'm still processing that, but it's kind of intriguing that there's some things that perhaps I need to do better for home defences, because, let's say, it might be it's shifting, or they are shifting their attention from me to my wife, and just getting that little sort of influence in, which obviously can be quite unpleasant to an untrained sort of mind, or if you're not really in control of your power. So some things to be done, some things I need to think over, and really just sort of, accepting some shift in the dynamics of what's been going on, and giving some thanks to the defences that are up. But obviously, I think they're coming under pressure. Doing things like this, I don't think necessarily help. because it's, as we were saying the other day to my wife, it's just like for the longest time I have not really discussed these sort of things. I mean, over, I don't know, the last 10 years, maybe had a couple of conversations with her, whereas it's at the forefront of our conversations and making these sort of videos and discussing it, when it's always that worst thing that it's when you start, or if you're practicing, you draw attention and you have to be ready to fight it. And I sort of think back to when I was younger and the terrifying experiences I'd had that sort of started me on this path. It's, while I'm confident, there's also that sort of change almost of strategy that's now sort of taking place. And it just puts a different kind of pressure on, I suppose, especially as it's, let's say, I like to say I'm on top of it. So yeah, some things to do, things to take stock of. Action needs to be taken, and we'll see what happens. So if you're watching these videos, thank you, and I suppose it comes without saying, it's just like, try not to have nightmares either. There are things you can do if you experience these sort of things. It's something best done earnestly, and doesn't necessarily have to be sort of the topic of YouTube videos or something. But I'm also of an opinion that these kind of things will happen if you're doing something that you believe in and believe to be right. So, seems very much like a shield wall moment. Anyway, thank you very much, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.